Welcome to Belize. This tiny country squeezed between Mexico and Guatemala can be driven across in just over 2 hours, yet is home to tropical rainforests, mountainous pines, epic waterfalls, huge cave systems, countless Maya ruins, and of course, turquoise blue seas and white sandy beaches.
It can be an adventure lover's paradise, where you can swim with reef sharks and stingrays, or descend deep into the Maya underworld. But it can also be a place to leave all your troubles behind, relax by the beach with a beer, and go slow.
Whatever your interests, join us as we explore this tiny but fascinating country in the Caribbean.
Welcome to Belize, everybody. We'll be spending 2 weeks in the country, and we're starting here in San Ignacio, about 15 to 20 minutes drive from the Guatemalan border, so we're not really far from Guatemala just yet.
It's very close to Flores, so the landscape is very similar. But one big difference is that you come across the border and you go from a Spanish-speaking country to an English-speaking country, which is very strange in Latin America.
I know, I keep saying gracias to everybody, which is a bit weird. I mean, they do understand Spanish.
There's many languages spoken here. English is the official language. Spanish is spoken by, I think, nearly 50% of the population. They also speak Creole, which is like a slang version of English. Very hard to understand unless you understand it. It's very strange to suddenly see all of the signs and the shops and everything in English, and also to adjust to, speaking English again after so long trying to speak Spanish. Plenty to do here.
Packed itinerary for us.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Our first stop here in San Ignacio, and our first Maya ruin in Belize is the Cahal Pech ruins just above the city of San Ignacio. Super easy to get to from the town centre, maybe like a 10-20 minute walk, a little bit uphill but not too bad. Compared to Tikal and those sites, Yasha, it's very, very small, so you can wander around in 30 minutes or so. It's only $5 to enter, very affordable by Belize standards. It's a fun thing to do whilst you're staying here in San Ignacio before you go out and explore and do some of the adventurous things outside of town.
After visiting Cahal Pech, we stopped at the Green Iguana Conservation Project based out of the San Ignacio Resort Hotel on our way back to town. Here you can see these beautiful animals up close and learn about the incubation, hatching and releasing processes. The money paid towards the tour also goes towards helping children in need and unprivileged families, so it's a win-win.
The interesting thing about here in Belize, as well as the road signs, on their money here, on the Belizean dollar, there's actually Queen Elizabeth's face. The Queen is on all of the money here. Belize was a British colony until 1981. Obviously the Queen was coronated way before that, hence why her face is on all of the money here. In the future they are going to be transitioning away from that. They're not going to have obviously the King on all of their new notes. They're going to be transitioning to, I think, like Belizean national heroes is what I read. But the other interesting thing is that they also freely exchange Belizean dollars with US dollars. In some transactions we've paid with Belizean dollars, but we've actually received US dollars back because the exchange rate is like exactly 1 to 2. So say if you were owed about $2 Belizean in change, they could just give you a $1 note in US money. That would be absolutely fine and common in this country. It's a really interesting monetary system they have here. Here at our second Maya ruin in Belize now. It's called Xunantunich, and it's about a 20-minute drive outside of San Ignacio. As you saw, we just took the bus here, which was super affordable, only about $2 for the both of us to come here. Entry is $10 again for the both of us to come in. As you can see, it's a pretty impressive place. Massive structure behind me called El Castillo, which is way taller than anything we've seen here so far. So we're gonna go up and climb that in a minute. Let's go have a look around. The views from the top of El Castillo were definitely worth the sweaty climb to the top. The whole site is fairly small and can be explored in an hour or two, and they also have a visitor center where you can learn more about the city. We're just leaving Xunantunich now. We're back to the ferry and then hopefully get a bus and not have to wait too long to get back to San Ignacio.
It's like the middle of the day now and it's very hot.
Very, very hot. Compared to the Cahal Pech one outside of San Ignacio, it's a lot more open, excavated a lot better. I kind of liked the vibes at Cahal Pech because it was a lot more overgrown. It really felt like the jungle had sort of overtaken it, which is kind of cool.
It reminded us of Yasha in Guatemala. It's a bit like Yasha and Tikal, like when we compared it in our previous videos.
Definitely worth coming out here, whether you do it like we did or whether you drive your own car here.
Or if you come with a tour, obviously you will learn a bit more about the site itself, so that's also worth doing. So the most popular tour to do here in San Ignacio is called the ATM Cave Tour. Basically like a caving slash, I guess like canyoneering experience. Go deep into these caves. Mayas used to think of them as like the underworld. So you sort of like descending into the Maya underworld, swimming through caverns and walking through caverns. You can see some human remains and stuff. I think it's gonna be a very cool experience. For various reasons, the Belize government has banned the use of electronics in the ATM cave. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to film any of the experience. So I'll try and sum it up as best I can when I get back. It's just going to be me doing it, so it's going to be a very strange experience. It's like the first experience for a long time where it's just me and also I'm not filming anything, so I'm just purely out there going to enjoy the experience. So it's quite novel actually.
I'm staying home working because this is something that I think it will be a bit too much for me because I have a bit of claustrophobia, so going to caves it's always a bit scary for me because you're required to be able to swim as well. I'm really not a good swimmer, so the two combined is just a big no-no. Plus this tour is more on the expensive side, especially for us budget travelers. It's $125 per person, so we didn't want to pay double for something that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing anyways.
Every single tour here in San Ignacio seems to be around $100 to $125 per person. It is quite an expensive place to do things. Just trying to like find the most economical way as well to do all these tours.
Bye.
And we're back.
Welcome back.
But it seems like no time has passed. Definitely a very interesting experience. I would say 100% worthwhile if you can afford it. It was really interesting to learn all about the Maya religious beliefs and the mythology surrounding their practices and stuff. A lot of interesting facts that you don't really learn when you go to places like Tikal and Yasha. It was a little bit different information there. So it was nice to learn a different thing about the Maya. The experience itself was really, really fun. Definitely if you're claustrophobic or you don't like swimming or anything like that, then it's not for you. It is quite a intense tour. It's a lot of scrambling and wading through like chest deep water. Wouldn't recommend it if you have any kind of like fears like that. Lots of artifacts inside, pots used for rituals and water and food. Lots of skeletal remains from the sacrificial victims, which are all like encrusted in limestone. It's a really sort of unique thing to do and I would definitely recommend it. Guys.
We have our personal guide.
Yeah, so excited.
Come on, guys. Let's get going. Welcome to the Belize Botanical Garden, which is only about a 25-minute drive from San Ignacio where we're staying. Good thing is that you can book a shuttle with them, which makes it very easy to get to and back. It's about $15 Belizean for a return trip, plus about $15 Belizean for a self-guided tour. I think we're the only ones here, which is pretty cool. And we have our personal guides we already met at the start.
It's nice here that they offer you the option for the guided tours, but they also offer you the option to just do a self-guided tour, and if you choose that, then they actually do provide you with like an information booklet and a map so that you can walk around and actually like read about the various plants that you're seeing. There's also signs everywhere that show you and tell you about the plants and what they are, because usually if you just do it self-guided, you don't get any information or anything like that, so you just kind of have to either know about it already or use your imagination. I like that they actually offer you some information even if you're not opting for the tours.
As we continued to explore the botanical garden, we came across both rainforest and bamboo forest and climbed up to a lookout tower with great views out over the canopy. We wouldn't say this is a must-do activity in San Ignacio, but if you're looking for an easy way to get out into nature, then this is definitely a good option.
One of the best ways to get around Belize is to hire a car. A lot of the national parks around Belize are not really accessible by public transport. You either need to book a tour, which can be pretty expensive, or you can hire a car. We chose to hire a car for a couple of days just to do the Hummingbird Highway and to go down into one of the reserves and to one of the Maya ruins. We paid about $170 for 2-day car hire plus insurance. Not horribly priced compared to like the tours where we would have paid like $250 between the two of us for one tour.
See what it comes to at the
Yeah,
end.
today we're going to head down the Hummingbird Highway, see what we can find. The Hummingbird Highway is a roughly 90-kilometer stretch of road that runs from the city of Belmopan down to Dangriga on the Caribbean coast. There are many stops along the route, but driving the road itself is definitely a highlight as it winds through forested hills and across lazy rivers all the way to the sea.
Now, our first stop along the Hummingbird Highway is St. Herman's Blue Hole National Park, which is a vast area, but you can only go into a few different spots on it. First stop is St. Herman's Cave, where you can do a trail, very short trail, less than a mile to the cave entrance, and you can go about 200 yards inside.
Without a guide, you can go all the way through the cave with a guide. I think the only cave where you can enter a certain point without a guide, so that's quite a good one.
Once we've done that, we're going to head on a little bit further down the road to the actual Blue Hole that the national park.
Blue Hole,
Yeah.
not the Blue Hole, obviously.
Yeah, the national park gets its name from that.
Inside the cave, we could walk along a short walkway to the point where the cave started to get narrower. We also saw people living with tubes, which is another option for traversing the cave with a guide.
There are a few other trails you can do around here. This one here, the jungle trail, leads you around in a little loop around the jungle. You can actually walk all the way to the Blue Hole. I think it takes about 45 minutes. We're just a little short on time today. We're trying to hit up a few different spots. So it's very hot to be hiking in the jungle. We're going to drive over to the inland Blue Hole, but the options are here if you want to do a little bit longer hikes, you can do it.
The Blue Hole is what the park is named for and is a small turquoise cenote that was perfect for cooling off in during our trip down to the coast. Your entry ticket to the park includes both the Blue Hole and the cave, so there's no need to pay extra at whichever one you go to second.
Second stop along our Hummingbird Highway road trip is here at Billy Bakadir National Park. We arrived and the guy who we paid our entry to said that we were the only ones here. Basically, you can do a short hike, 15 to 20 minutes, up to a waterfall and a swimming area, or they also have a trail that leads up to a viewpoint, but he said that takes like an hour and he didn't suggest it in this heat. This national park is definitely, I would say, a nice to do one rather than a have to do. Very similar to the Blue Hole where you just walk a little bit and you get to a nice little swimming area. But the water's definitely a lot muddier here. Not quite as picturesque.
Waterfall wasn't too full either, but
No.
it's understandable because we're literally at the end of the dry season now and they haven't had rain since January according to the guide.
And it's still a pretty little place. If you want to be absolutely on your own, then definitely come here. Final stop along the Hummingbird Highway, not really on the Hummingbird Highway. Come all the way down to the Caribbean Sea. We're in Hopkins, which is a small little town right on the ocean. It's not so popular as like Cahal and the other places.
No, but it's still quite popular if you're doing the Hummingbird Highway or people stop here as their lost stop.
Yeah, just gonna go and try and grab something to eat, walk down the beach a little bit and soak up the Caribbean vibes.
Yeah.
How do you find driving in Belize?
Yeah, it's been pretty easy actually. Like the roads are incredibly quiet, and as you can see, they're pretty decent roads too. The roads are very well tarmacked, especially this Hummingbird Highway. I think tomorrow we'll be going into the back roads a little bit more, so it's going to be a little more off-road kind of stuff. That'll be interesting. We've got a 4x4, so hopefully we'll be all right. The experience of driving not very dissimilar to like driving in the States.
We've got an automatic car as well, so that's easy for us.
I don't think you should be worried about renting a car here at all. It's been super easy. Morning.
Ready for another road trip?
Yeah. Today is a little bit more of a difficult day driving, I think. We're going to be heading into the Mountain Pine Ridge Reserve, which is a big area just south of San Ignacio.
But we're going to go a bit further than that because we're going to visit another Maya site, which is called Caracol. We're really excited about it. It's quite a big site.
I think it's like Tikal sort of size. It's one of the biggest ancient cities in this area. Quite a long way, about 2-hour drive. I think the roads are going to be very similar to what we've got out here, like dirt tracks most of the way. The last little section is like completely unpaved, so it's going to be like proper
We'll see.
off-roading. Let's hope the 4x4 can deal with it. So the tarmac is over. We're now on the dirt track, but it's like kind of nice because they're laying the groundwork for the tarmac road. How far into the journey? Like probably about 45 minutes of tarmac so far. An hour onto the dirt for the next hour and a bit. Back on the tarmac. I didn't expect to be on tarmac again until we got back to the start. They're doing like some sections at different stages. This section in the middle they've already kind of done, so that's a really nice surprise.
This didn't last long though. Soon we were back on the dirt, crossing makeshift bridges over rivers, waiting patiently as the workers unloaded heavy machinery and catching glimpses of wildlife, all whilst the road got progressively worse. Finally though, we made it to Caracol.
The last section of road was definitely the worst. Probably the last like 5 miles or so were very bumpy. You have to take it pretty slow. But the majority of the road is fine. It's dirt track, but it's paved quite nicely, so you can get a little bit of speed going. Probably took us about 2 hours, just over 2 hours 10 minutes to get here. This site is pretty isolated. It's quite far from any towns or centres. It does take a little bit of effort to get here, which means it's quite a lot quieter than a lot of other places. Having said that, a big school group turned up just as we arrived. Not going to have the place all to ourselves, but we're in the main square now. It looks pretty epic. get some pretty amazing views from up here on top of the pyramid in the main plaza. You can really see for miles all around. 360 views. It's almost like a mini plaza with 3 pyramids on top of the main plaza with 3 pyramids. Quite an expansive area. It's actually a lot smaller site than I was expecting. I think I'd made it out from what I was reading it to be this like big site, big area, similar to like Tikal, but it's nowhere near as big as Tikal or even Yasha. I don't think
It's quite similar, I guess.
I feel like there were more different sections to Yasha.
Yeah, maybe. There's so many now that they all merge into one big Maya site.
Once you've seen one Maya site, you've sort of seen most of them.
I'm not sure when they actually going to finish the road. They do make progress, and maybe by the time you come and visit, it might be even
It'll
better.
be a really beautiful stretch of road once it's finished, all the way through that mountain pine forest reserve. Things just falling out of the trees around us. If you come then, I think it'll be a really, really good day activity to do. Just arrived to Rio 1 Pools, which is one of the main sort of stops here in the mountain reserve. It's just a natural pool formation where you can come and have a little swim, bring your lunch, just chill. So it's going to be very welcome because it's getting very hot again now. We're in the middle of the day. Looking forward to chilling by the river for a little bit. So nice. So refreshing. It's a little bit like pools at Semuc, Belize's version of Semuc in Guatemala, except here it's a little bit less clear turquoise water. It's still just as refreshing. The water here is a little bit warmer as well, I think.
Beautiful spot.
Final stop for the day then, we're here at Big Rock Falls. Small little car park and then you have to walk about 15 minutes to get to the waterfall itself, where I think you can probably swim and enjoy being in nature again. Time to give the car back.